What's going on, guys? Asian White Dragon here. So I want to explain why I don't think Book of Moon is necessarily the greatest, spell, and why I didn't actually put it in the staples of spells in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment. Just because where the metagame is going right now, and especially because priority is still in effect in TCG, which means, you can summon something called priority and you still get its effect anyways, regardless if you Book of Moon or bottomless. But if you negate the summon, then yeah, obviously they don't get their effect. But Book of Moon, I really don't feel like it deserves a spot, not just because, pro players aren't playing with it. Some people are still playing with it, some people are topping without it, and I don't really feel the card is necessarily a top-tier card. Yes, it does stop, XYZing, it does stop synchros, it shuts down your monsters, your opponent's monster's effect, you can save your own monsters with it, very versatile, but I feel like there's really better options for it. And the main thing with Book of Moon, what I mean by it prolongs the problem that you have, like, say they get out Christie, they get out Christia, they attack. Okay, you Book of Moon Christia. Now you can still special summon, but realize you still have to have a card in your hand or some answer to it next turn. And there are a lot of other better cards for that. I mean, yeah, you could stop the synchro of, something, but remember, you have to be able to get around that next turn. And if you don't, then essentially you just kind of use Book of Moon. It's kind of like a negate one attack in that situation. But I really feel like there's other better cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment, and these are some other better cards. Not necessarily deserve a spot either in the staples, that's why I didn't put them there, but these are also great other cards. Forbidden Lance, really good. I mean, if you summon something and they happen to torrential, or, whatever they do, you can keep your monster alive. And with the relevance of, Deep Prison being really popular, again, Book of Moon prolongs the problem. Say you have Thunder King, they have nothing but back rows. You have Thunder King, you attack with Thunder King, they Deep Prison. Yeah, you can Book of Moon to save your Thunder King, but again, you're prolonging it to where, you have to keep your Thunder King alive because it's going to be face down. It won't have its effect. It has relatively low defense. You have to have, a Solemn Warning or something to protect your Thunder King from dying next turn. Whereas if you have that Forbidden Lance and you can keep your Thunder King alive plus have it face up on the field, and because it only loses the attack until the end phase, really more versatile. Plus, Forbidden Lance, it's more usable when your opponent attacks into you with a stronger monster, and then you can just chain Lance, and then at that point your opponent has no monster in the field. And I really feel like Lance is just a better overall card in some decks. Some decks might, favor Book of Moon, like Glads, but, Glads aren't necessarily tier 1 right now anyways. Another good card, Enemy Controller, just because, it's chainable. If you happen to have, Formula Synchron, or Formula, on your field, or your opponent has one, you can take it. Opens up a lot of options, essentially, and just taking your opponent's monsters and synchroning up with them is just really good. But yeah, I mean, Book of Moon, yeah, you can Book of Moon Christia, but again, I'm just gonna mention it again, it's just gonna be prolonging the situation. You have to have an answer within the next turn to what you've already stopped, and that's essentially why Book of Moon isn't as hot anymore. And another thing, if your opponent is going for a Synchro summon or an XYZ summon, you can use Black Horn of Heaven. A lot of people are side decking this because of Rabbit, Logia, or just a lot of stuff that's just inherent special summoning. Really good stuff. You just negate it, and there's no really cost. But keep in mind, you can't negate Monster Reborn or Call of the Hunted because those aren't inherent special summons. Cards like Judgment Dragon, anything from the hand, like Cyber Dragon, you can just Black Horn of Heaven. Really good stuff. But keep in mind, if they are running Pot of Avarice, then it doesn't really hurt them as much. But some decks, key cards, when they go for Bryanak, they go for the game, like zombies. If you Black Horn of Heaven them, it just really hurts. But yeah, zombies aren't, at their best potential right now. And the last card, if you really want to stop synchros, or, your opponent sets cards, Compulse is just a really viable card. A lot of times when your opponent, uses Mind Control against your cards, like your Thunder King, you can, chain it. Compulse is just really live. And, again, with Book of Moon, let's say they already have a monster out and you're going to set your Book of Moon. They go MST. You can chain Book of Moon to flip their monster back face down, but since they haven't changed positions, they can just, flip it back up. Whereas with Compulse, if they go MST, you can just chain it and send their monster back. But yeah, Compulse is just really good. It stops a lot of things when people go for Logia. Before they go Rabbit for 2 cards and you just bounce one of them back. You can bounce back a Sangan with Tour Guide if you happen to be in the situation where you want to do that. And obviously this destroys Zen mains. It destroys pretty much most XYZs, and it also destroys a lot of the synchros because starters can't negate it. Thought Ruler Archery isn't really seeing much play anymore. so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, these are all some great cards that you can substitute for your love of Book of Moon, because don't get me wrong, this card is good, guys, but it's not as hot anymore, and that's basically why I didn't include it. For the most important reason, just keep in mind that it just prolongs the situation, because you have to have another card in combination with Book of Moon to actually make it live. And I hope that makes sense to some of you guys, but your thoughts are important to me, and I want to hear your opinions on it. And what do you guys think, like, if you understand what I'm saying about Book of Moon only prolonging the situation to what you have to deal with? Like, you have to be able to answer it next turn. But let me know what your thoughts are, either on these cards or Book of Moon, because I really don't feel like it's a staple anymore. It's a good card. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.